Hello, hello. Am I coming through okay? Test, test, test. Good morning or afternoon or evening, depending on where you are in the world. So I'm going to try out, let me know if the stream quality is low. I'm going to try low latency for this stream because the quality doesn't maybe matter as much for the video, but that way there's less delay between my video and your comments. And I'm catching up on comments. I'm prepping Discord server posts in various places. I can now ping the Tales from Elsewhere server to let folks know that that's going live. Okay. How are we all doing today? I'm catching up on your comments now. I see that there's going to be a race for the first race to the first backer, which is awesome. Whoo, whoo wee, y'all. Yeah, a little quiet. Okay, I've been having problems. You want to know why it was quiet? The microphone was super far from. My microphone was all the way behind my monitor. That explains that. First technical issue of the morning. So probably sounds much better now, right? Silly me, that wasn't on my morning checklist of all the things to do. Put microphone in front of face. How silly of me. Yeah, we got this. I'm excited, y'all. Been up for a couple hours already and just getting some last minute things done. Got lots of water and coffee here. Just had some breakfast. And I'll be nervous. I'm excited and nervous. Okay, so I will explain in lecture format here, in my classic teacher style, how this has been going for me this last week. Okay, I'm going to stream and show y'all what's up. My friend, hey Tim, Brendan is calling me on my phone. I can't pick up because my phone is being used as my camera. Okay. So I'm going to explain my nervousness, okay? Here we go. I'm going to explain how this has been going. Let's see if I can do this effectively. So here is a pie chart. Let's make this in a better position. We're going to make a pie chart here of how I've been feeling over the last week in general. So I would say that the pie chart looks a little something like this, where the let's make it more accurate like that, where everything out here is stress, and then everything in here is excitement. That was how it has been for like the last several weeks of just so much work. And, so stress was occupying a very, very large percentage of the feeling around the Kickstarter page. And as time has gone on and my checklists have been getting completed, it's starting to look like that, right? And then I would say around yesterday, it looked like this. So, and now when I got up this morning, I think finally it's gone to where excitement has surpassed the stress, right? Because there's just so much to do. And so now I'm entering excitement mode, where my energy levels have been up this whole time, but I think the excitement, the reality of it is starting to become a bigger part of my mind. Let's make this look a little nicer. Excitement. Because behind the scenes, the whole TFE team has been working super hard, just crazy hard, mainly because, just to peel back the curtain a bit, we had some unfortunate delays with certain art pieces, certain things visually we needed for the Kickstarter page, and so we couldn't complete everything we needed to in advance like I had originally planned. And so we were working very much right up to the deadline, which is unfortunate, right? Which is not ideal. Excuse me. because I'm a planner and I have really solid timelines. I had this all planned out, and we were almost a month, like, we had to make up like a month of work. And so there was a lot of late nights and a lot of team effort. And so it all worked out in the end, but it was quite intense. And yeah, Zan, I actually already have a whole I've had a whole checklist for the Kickstarter month and the subsequent months for a while. You'll see fairly soon in 25 minutes. There's actually an estimated schedule basically every month between now and when the product is delivered on what will be accomplished that's on the Kickstarter page, so that we're super transparent about all of the breakpoints and deadlines we're going to hit. So love y'all for this. Oh, so much support, so much love in the chat. Yeah, the con crud. Okay, so I have like bronchial vulnerabilities. I have like respiratory issues in general. And so whenever I get sick, even if it's not anything serious, I get like an inflammation in my bronchioles and in my neck that lasts like a month or more after I'm done being sick. So it sucks. It's, I'm just used to it. So I feel fine. I just I'll be trying to stifle a cough occasionally this morning. Hey, Huckleberry RPG. I got to shout out. Go to, definitely check out another Weird West brother, Huckleberry RPG. It's super cool. And that's, I believe, going to crowdfunding in another month or two, if memory serves. I'm a little scramble brained, but it's good stuff. And also, I know Homie and the Dudes Kickstarter also starts today, I think a little later today. And so definitely go check them out. We'll look at, if we're on at 9 a.m. my time when their Kickstarter goes live, we'll go check out their page because they're awesome. I got to hang out with them over the weekend to just chat because our Kickstarters are launching on the same day, but they're also indie devs and they're really cool guys. And we just hung out and talked for like an hour, hour and a half. And turns out they have really good taste in martial arts movies. That was like, I knew they were my best friends. You working today or taking it? Oh, I'm taking the day off today, Isaac. There's no way I'm gonna wheel over there and work today. No. These chat messages are definitely much more live when I set it to lower latency. So the question I asked Homie and the Dude, so Tom and Bodhi, was, who is your favorite not well-known martial arts movie star? Like who's somebody you don't think the average viewer would know about but is awesome in martial arts movies? And they both looked at each other, and let's see, can anybody guess who they said? I'd be really impressed if somebody guessed this right away. And I'll give you guys a minute. Who do you think they said and I agreed with as, well, oh, these are good. Well, so Isaac got it first guess. It's Tony Jaa. Yeah, they said Tony Jaa. They looked at each other and both agreed Tony Jaa. They're big Muay Thai fans. It was, yeah, so I was like, these guys have great taste. Yeah, Tony Jaa is good. Samo, oh, for sure. One that I was actually mentioning is Joe Taslim, who is also super good. He was in Warrior. He's Sub-Zero in that more recent, not very good Mortal Kombat movie. But yeah, Joe Taslim is really good. Joe Taslim was in Raid Redemption, which is definitely one of the better gritty martial arts movies of like the last 20 years for sure. Ong Bak, incredible movie, and The Protector. Protector has that spiral staircase scene that is just the oneer, right, where they go all the way up the staircase, just incredible. How dare you, Frank? The original 1990s Mortal Kombat movie is cinema. American Ninja. Is that the one with Chris Farley? That movie's amazing. Chris Farley was a treat and a treasure. Yeah, the Protector single fight scene. So for all my hard work lately, I decided to treat myself, just totally pivoting conversationally to deal with my stress. and I'm building a new commander deck in Magic the Gathering. So I decided to treat myself to like $40 in Magic cards, and I'm building a Marin deck. I don't know if this is gonna Marin of Clan Neltoth. Oop, a Golgari colors. This isn't gonna come through on my camera. Building a Marin deck, a Reanimator, Golgari colors. Peter, when we playing Commander? Oh, I know, right? I've only recently started getting into Commander. I take these big decade-long hiatuses from Magic, and then my local D&D group, my main like RPG group, they got back into it in the last year as like an off night game, or like, oh, a couple people can't make it to D&D tonight. We keep it on the calendar and we just play Magic instead. So yeah, my main deck that I've been using is a Arietta the Charmed Apple deck, which pisses people off because it's kind of control-y. But we put budget limits on our decks so that no one's deck is that much above, like, well beyond a precon, because precons can be pretty decent. Reason being is we don't want people to have to spend $1,000, so we keep the deck's pretty budget. Yeah, I play like a couple games of Magic a month, maybe. At this point, I don't play it a ton. Let's see. Oh, I better check my because I can't schedule an Instagram post ahead of time. I've got the disc. Oh, what do you got? Should I make a Reddit post announcing the Kickstarter? I mean, Reddit's can be kind of a cesspool sometimes, but there's some decent subreddits on RPGs. Oh, there's a lot of people in the independent Runehammer fan community who've been following TFE, and we would love to have you join us to debut it next summer at Crit 20. Oh, that would be awesome. I'm a big Runehammer fan. BGD, ping me in Discord or something and we'll talk. That would be incredible. I obviously, follow Runehammer. And I did a video on Index Card RPG just earlier this year. So yeah. That's true. I guess it wouldn't hurt. And I'm a little active on the RPG design subreddits. Yeah, RPG design and RPG. Yeah. BGD. Hit me up in Discord or something. Let's talk. That would be quite an honor. Obviously, big fan of Runehammer and his work in general. How we doing on time? 18 minutes. Okay. Let's see. How many followers do we have here? Let's see, good demo stream. 592 followers. It's so what I've been doing here, I'll peel back the curtain a bit here, you guys, so you can kind of see. Let me make sure this is coming through. So what I've been doing every day that the Kickstarter sign-up page has been live is, before I go to bed, I note how many followers the page has had, and lining it up with any sort of marketing endeavors I do or other videos that get posted, and so that I can go and analyze this. So it looks like with only 17 minutes left, I'll mark 592 on this last day. Didn't quite get to 600. That's all right. And I've been trying to track the signups on the page over time, so that I can learn what I did that caused spikes and so forth. Sorry, my brother's pinging me. In 16 minutes. My brother. I have siblings. Spoilers. Peter is not alone in the world. Yeah, so there's all sorts of videos and plugs that happened, and I've been tracking. BGD, I actually was aware of Crit for this year, the online one, and it didn't line up. I was just so busy getting ready for the Kickstarter, so I couldn't make it work. But the Crit Con, the Crit event was super cool, and I would love to be interested. I would like to be interested. I am interested. Because I'm pretty sure, I think Jorben the Elder Goblin ran something for Crit, if I remember correctly. Yeah, it's just timing didn't work out. There was a lot of collaborations and games that I really wanted to be a part of, but I had to be realistic. Like conventions that couldn't go to. I have a day job still, right? I'm happily married, and so like I have this personal life that I need to maintain as well. Can't just spend every waking moment doing this. Yeah, I've had to skip a lot. Like my community, the TFE Discord server has so many cool games being made in it right now, just in various stages of development. And it pains me because I want to play all these games that people are making and help test them, but there's just no time right now. So maybe if I can devote more of my time to this in the future, I'd be able to make time for that because that is super fun. I love play testing and iterating with folks. Hey, Tyler from Bard's College. Hello. Welcome, dude. You were so much fun to play. We had just met. So for those that didn't watch yesterday's live stream, I ran The Last Train to Nowhere, the playtest or the quick start adventure for some YouTubers. And I hadn't had a chance to talk to Tyler before the Bard's College, but like not on a call really. And so it was a lot of fun to run it for him with him and Stephanie and Bone Wizard and I know the Strife and excuse me, and Trek. It was super fun. Yeah, lots of friends. Yeah, hey Rich. Oh man, Rich has an actual play going live today, and it's so good. His friends that he runs this with, his local like improv group, are so fun. I got to run like a prep session for them to like warm them up to the system, and they were a blast. Oh, thank you, Tyler. Yeah, what's really great is I'm seeing a lot of YouTubers and such in here, and a lot of these people have played the game now, right? I've gotten a chance to run it for them. Like I got to run at Gen Con, I ran the live game for Frank and Charles. I see Frank in the chat. Like he got to play it live, sitting at the table with me, and that was such a treat. My friends. And Scrat's in here too, and he got to hang out. We didn't play live during Gen Con. That's my bad. Scrat still hasn't played like an in-person tabletop game. That's my bad. Well, I want you to know, Salty Nick, and I have written on my scratch piece of paper next to my desk, you, Laura, Spider Lily, and Misty's guess for how much money the campaign will make in total. I've got it written here for your guesses. And so it has been logged on my notepad that I keep at my desk. So we'll see. No, Scrat. You know, Scrat, you had played that session before. That's why I was like, oh, I want to have Scrat play it again. He's already played this session. Hey, yep. How are we doing on time? So the plan with 12 minutes to play, yeah, just gonna line up. Oh, with the Red Richards. Oh, okay. So shout out to the Red Richard clan, the group. So community member Red Richard is absolutely brilliant and super devoted fan, just a big fan of the project, and now a collaborator. Yeah, and Huckleberry RPG. Yeah, it's Price is Right. So Red Richard is now a collaborator on the project. I consult with him on a lot of numerical analysis and balance and game design things because he's so passionate about the project. And he's run a bunch of sessions with his local group to help me test like in-progress monsters and new edges. And he's also a very talented artist, and he's actually contributing artwork to the final rulebook. And yeah, he's awesome. He's working on an adventure. Yeah, his whole family are absolute blessing to have in the server and involved in this project. Yes, a different Richard, not Renegade Rolls Richard, but yeah, they're just awesome. And so for those that saw the bullet dice at Gen Con, he designed and 3D printed and sent those to me for Gen Con. So he is MVP, awesome guy. And I don't, he may not be watching at the moment. He's going to be getting a special gift before too long as well, but don't tell him. But he's awesome. So he's also really passionate about tabletop RPGs. So if you're working on one and hanging out in the TFE server, pick his brain. He's real sharp, especially when it comes to the numerical and dice odds analysis of your game. Yeah, the dice were so cool. at the table. They were awesome. Oh, I see Tarla, you are in chat. Hello. Yes, you've been logged. Well, yeah. So you went 1K over Salty Nick, which is really funny. That's like the dirty Price is Right tactics, right? Yeah, bullet dice are the kind of thing that we wish we could mass produce ourselves, but it's just not realistic based on our available time and resources and the state of shipping in general. Um, so, spoilers for one of the stretch goals. One of the stretch goals that you'll be seeing soon is giving away for free STL files. So, what you can use to 3D print of some minis, some dice, and some things so that international people have access to it. And nobody said the don't go over rule. Yeah, that's very true. And yeah, Frank, well, what's so cool is, and what's been so strange is that we launched our YouTube channel basically 1 year ago. It was the end of August, and I think the first people to actually like reach out to me, it was in of Planar Crossroads and a Squirrel Plays. So Scrat was on there, and they gave me a shout out, those two channels, and I think they were my first YouTube friends. Like Scrat, I think you're like the OG YouTube friend at this point. Oh, and hey, thank you. I see people popping in now. Hello, hello. Yeah, I think it was, Scrap, maybe the OG there, if I remember correctly. And I've met him in person now, and he is a squirrel in real life, turns out. He was not falsely advertising. Ooh, boy. I could just hover over this button right now. Oh, my gosh. Scary. Not going to press it yet. I think there's a confirmation window that pops up, but I'm not pushing it yet. Scrat's videos never don't make me laugh. Yeah, Scrat is absolutely hilarious. And honestly, his review of my game, it's really funny, and I think it's a really good review. I think it's fair, providing his constructive criticism as well as presenting the game clearly, I think, like succinctly, which is good. Yeah, I tell him I live for Scrat's scene transitions, like his chapter transitions, like little saxophone sets. So good. Yeah, so very soon. How are we doing? 7 minutes. Oh boy. Let me clean up some of my. So what we're gonna do, here's my plan, is we have on YouTube the actual the animated trailer is a YouTube video that is launching right when the Kickstarter goes live. So I set this as a premiere so that we could watch it together and then pop over to the Kickstarter page. However, I know some of you are racing for first backer, so I won't be offended if you watch the trailer later. The trailer's only like a minute. Volume is quite low here. If you're hopping in and catching up on the stream, not live, I had audio issues at the start, and it was quite quiet at the beginning. Can we audio? Am I still coming through okay though, y'all, on the current? Those who are at like the current one. Sometimes I like lean away from the microphone and it makes it a little quieter because I move around a lot when I talk. Sounds good to me. Okay, I just get real excited and I move away from the mic. Okay, cool. Thank y'all. While I'm at it, just because me, I love plugging other indie folks. Slightly on the quiet side. Yeah, I wonder if it's this microphone, or maybe my voice is too bassy. Yeah, and it's okay if people aren't like mashing the back button as soon as it goes live. The idea is that the first 72 hours of a Kickstarter campaign are probably the most important. So if folks who are interested in backing back in the first couple days, that's really big. It helps the game get out there and people see it more. Oh yeah, that's funny. So Peasantry TTRPG in chat, Zachary, I stumbled upon him through Reddit. It's also how I met Ryan at Fine Ground Cryptids. I just happened to I keep an eye on the game design Reddits and RPG Reddits and saw he had made a post, and I just fell in love with his game, and then I talked to him, and he was awesome. And when I met him at Gen Con, I got one of his convention demo copies of Peasantry. Highly recommend you go to peasantryttrpg.com. This game is so fun. I'm not a big rules light player. Like most of the games I play aren't rules light, but this was hilarious. A game built specifically for one shots and for insanity. The biggest pitch I'm not going to try to spend my whole stream pitching somebody else's game, but that's just how I am. There's even a winner. Whoever is the nastiest peasant, like that's something you can earn at the end of the session. Like it's a role-playing game, but at the end, whoever was the nastiest peasant is like, that's noted. There's points for being nasty, and it's so funny. All right, about 4 minutes till the trailer. So this trailer was, I think Tim might still be in the chat. So Tim, the editor, who a lot of you who follow the channel know, as he's even been interviewed, did I know, I'm sorry. I'm apparently I'm bad at like selling myself. I just like talking about other people's projects because, well, y'all know me. I'm like a high tide raises all ships. We're all in this together. It's like us against Hasbro. But anyway, this trailer we're about to watch in like 4 minutes. I have to shout out Tim, the editor, who worked so hard on getting this together on very strict deadlines that weren't his fault. The timeline was because we didn't get certain assets in on the timeline we wanted, but we made it work. But yeah, Tim has been knocking it out the park with this short animated trailer. It's so cool. It came out incredible. He is the GOAT. And I'll also shout out the layout we have here of this thumbnail was made by Jenna Figures, our layout designer, who, due to also some issues we only connected with a little later in the project than I would have preferred, none of it, not her fault, it was a different layout designer, had to reschedule things, and she gave us this very acid Western sort of vibe, bringing in some color. So to rant with like the 2.5 minutes I have before we watch this, a lot of Weird West products, or Western products in general, wash out a lot of the color and keep things brown and dirty and gritty and beige and dusty and deserty. But she brought in this perspective of more of an acid Western vibe, bringing in colors of like the Southwest sunsets, where there's like purples and vibrant reds and just an extra level of color to the layouts. And you'll see on the Kickstarter page when that goes live in, oh gosh, 2 minutes, that it just adds an incredible amount of pizzazz. And this rulebook's gonna look a little different than maybe Western game books that you've seen. It doesn't look like a dirty piece of paper. The color pops out and is aggressive in a way, and it's vibrant, and I love it. And she brought that perspective in on the layout design, and it's so good. Yeah, Twin Steel has the gunslinger's reflexes. Always the first through the door. Hold on, I'm getting a couple. Sorry, I'm responding to. Got to keep an eye on all my message locations here. Oh, and hey Tarla, I just saw you joined the TFE Discord server. Hello. Oh gosh, 1 minute. So, like I said, we're gonna watch the trailer here, but I am gonna switch this on. I have read the rules. I'm just waiting for it to. I'm waiting for the clock to hit 8, and I'm gonna hit launch project. Oh boy, here we go. I'm just looking at the clock right now. I'm looking at my watch. I should just do it now, right? I can't wait till 8. All right, I've hit it. I hit it. It's going. It's loading. Oh. And we are live. Okay, popping over to the trailer. Okay, trailer time. All right, project is up. Here we go. We got about a minute and a half. Oh, this is loud. I'm gonna mute. My own trailer is loud. Oh, I should hit the post on my Instagram post. I'm too nervous to look at the Kickstarter page. Oh, the backers are coming in already. Oh my goodness. Oh my gosh, you guys, oh, oh wow. People are coming in. They're backing. All right, we gotta look away. We gotta watch the trailer. I know the YouTube premiere music is awful. I really dislike it, and I'm not sure how to make it go away. I don't know how to actually check. Oh my gosh, it's going up. Okay. 15 people have backed already. Oh my. I don't know. Oh my gosh, it keeps going up. Oh my gosh, yo. Oh, thank you. Thank you, Frank. You're doing good work over there. Okay, 20 seconds. Okay, we'll watch the trailer now. We'll watch the trailer. Oh, it's so loud and horrible. I hate it. I think my computer volume is on too high too. Or something. We'll check back in on the count in a second. I just have to mute this darn thing. It's just so loud and annoying. Oh,
Something that you know. It's something that you feel. You feel it down in the pit of your belly when you stare into the starless night. When you close your eyes in the small hours and the dark thoughts go clawing in. That's elsewhere whispering to you. It's what your sins feed and where your nightmares are born. It's that feeling of being watched as you walk through the woods. When you're standing at the edge of the cliff, something tells you, just one more step. Any of that ruminate on it too long gamble with more than their sanity. But they're very sacred soul. All you really need, Ken, is that elsewhere ain't friendly. And it ain't from round here.
ooh, man, that trailer's good. Oh, it's so good. Tim absolutely. Yep, your very normal lady. I'm probably gonna watch it again. I'm gonna watch it one more time. Oh, not the trailer. Let me refresh so it's not the premiere version. Because premieres are the worst.
Elsewhere.
Okay, I'm gonna try watch this one more time because this was such a labor of love, and came out so well.
Elsewhere ain't something that you know. It's something that you feel. You feel it down in the pit of your belly when you stare into the starless night. When you close your eyes in the small hours and the dark thoughts go clawing in. That's elsewhere whispering to you. It's what your sins feed and where your nightmares are born. It's that feeling of being watched as you walk through the woods. When you're standing at the edge of the cliff, something tells you, just one more step. Any of that ruminate on it too long gamble with more than their sanity. But they're very sacred soul. All you really need, Ken, is that elsewhere ain't friendly. And it ain't from round here.
So, I don't know if those watching recognize that voice, but that's Ife Wadiwe voicing Reverend Hezekiah Pace, and he did an awesome job. So cool, and he is one of the folks that, hey, my own thumbnail, is going to be, he's one of the adventure writers, and he's awesome. Oh wow, we're already at 41 backers. This is so crazy. So let's take a look at the Kickstarter page, I guess. If somebody got #1 backer, it doesn't let me look that up. Like, it doesn't show me what other people's backer numbers are. But at least I don't think so. I have no idea how this is. I'll look at this in a minute. Yeah, the trailer is awesome. So, as I was kind of describing, we went for this very acid. Oh, I'm going to move. Hold on, let me move where my. I'm going to move myself, I think, over here. So I think I'm in the way on the camera. So, like I was saying, we got this very acid Western sort of visual that I just love the colors of. So that's why there's like these striking color contrasts on the page. Oh, and I hope you all saw Tim made this flyover of the map. I don't know if Arthur's in chat right now. But our artist, one of our artists, Arthur, was, I was #2. Congrats, Agile Monk, for like top 3. Congrats, my friend. This flyover of the map is so incredible. And this map was a really fun project to work on. So what happened was, when I had started the YouTube channel and was making content, somebody that became a fan of the channel was this guy named Arthur. And he had basically sent me his portfolio and said, hey, if you ever want, I know you already have artists, he said, but hey, if you ever want to work on something together, I'd love to work on you. I love your channel and the game you're working on. Ooh, Barge got #1. Congrats, my friend. Congrats. So anyway, Arthur, he emailed me with his portfolio, and I wasn't looking for artists at the time, but in his portfolio, he had worked on maps, like making custom maps. And so down the road, I ended up reaching out to him again and talking, and we worked together making this map. And he was such a professional and so talented, integrating all of this like narrative into the map, because the map for the game isn't something that's meant to be like a hex crawl map per se. It's not precise. It's gestural, and it's more about evocation, right? It's about inspiring you to write adventures in the map, not so much measuring how many days it'll take to walk between 2 points on it. But yeah, congrats, Barge Games. Congrats, my friend, being #1. You're the quickest draw in the land. And congrats, Agile Monk, for #2. Oh, and so Anderson, he's just catching up on the stream. So, hey, Stephanie. It was so fun to run a game for you, Stephanie. I got to play Cyborg with her. It wasn't in a streamed game, and it was super fun. Stephanie's the best, and her YouTube channel's awesome. And it was an absolute pleasure. So I made this graphic. Sorry, I'm getting distracted. I wanted to walk through the Kickstarter with you all. So I made this graphic. Originally, I had a list of inspirations that I wanted to cite, and then I realized that it would be way cooler if it was in a visual graphic. And so the various games and books. Now, there's way more books than this that are inspirations for this game. I've been reading a ton. I'm actually probably going to do a short video talking about the dozen or so books that I've been reading over the last several years. But there's some great content here. And I added Sinners, even though, Sinners came out way later. My game was basically done by the time Sinners came out, but it's such a close approximation of some of the vibe the game goes with, because Clockworld as a setting integrates real history into generating its horror in certain aspects, right? It's why so many of the threats are based on the anxieties of people of the 19th century, like the Industrial Revolution, the rapaciousness of the oil industry, infection, disease, amputation. And Sinners integrates history so well into its horror. It's an incredible film. The Walking Dead. Walking Dead is another great one. I ended up not having like a TV shows section here, but absolutely, Daniel. We always talk about The Walking Dead, especially the first couple seasons of that being a huge one. Catch you later, Ugly Goblin. We'll see you around. One of these days we'll get to play a game together, and I'm excited to talk to you more about your game. Excuse me. one of the tough things is like, how do you explain to other people the rules of a game? And the original draft of some of these graphics, it was a little too crunchy, honestly, of what I was explaining. And so Daniel and Tim helped me come up with things that are just a little bit more punchy, right? Just a little bit of an evocation of some of the draw of the system. Because in the end, people are going to want to look through this based on some of the vibe that's presented. And because the game is so far along in production, they can just download the quick start guide and have a good impression of the rules anyway. Yeah, low math, high violence, I think is a good way to describe it. And for some of the folks that have gotten to make characters in the system, they can attest that it's very immersive. Like your character gets really plugged into the world. And so I wanted to sell that idea. Very inspired in part by Cypher system, where in Cypher you're like a warrior who teleports or something. It's like, what is it? A noun, verb, adjective, or whatever. I like that kind of thing. Brutal horror combat. The injury system has to be mentioned, of course. And then I mentioned the luck system, which I know a lot of folks really enjoy. That opt-in amount of extra spice you can add is a lot of fun. And then we have, talking about what's actually in the game, because like I said, this game is so far along in production, we know what's going into the final rulebook content-wise, so that buyers know what they're getting for their money, right? I think that's important. This isn't a idea of a game, right? This is a game that people have been playing for some time now and is fairly concrete, and the final manuscript is very robust. Mainly, I'm just like copy pasting outside of the manuscript and into the manuscript at this point from the various drafts. So, 50 backstory elements, which are, excuse me, mostly professions, and then there's less than that for cultures, and a little bit less than that for incidents. 130 edges. There's actually 133 in total. Yeah, the luck system. They really liked. Frank and Charles really liked the luck system, and I do too. There's going to be 60 threats, and so the threats are getting 2-page spreads, which you can see. Where's one of the mock-ups of the 2-page spread? So here's an example of what the 2-page spread looks like for a monster, right? It's actually only a little bit rules, like half the page is art and rules, and then the other facing page is adventure inspiration, guidance on how to use them in a fight, their story within the context of Clockworld. Oh yeah, Twin Steel, I'm really looking forward to letting you sink your teeth into the full list and really tearing it apart. I think it's going to be great. You know what? I wonder if I can actually do. You know what? You're right. People who are saying I should just have like the backer count up on this. Oh my gosh, it keeps going up. Okay, so what we're gonna do is I can set this up. I know how I can do this. Hold please, y'all. I'm gonna get a display of the backer count here in OBS. Good call, Daniel, who just pinged me. Okay, hold please. Let me add. This is I think it's like a window capture, I want to say. And we grab, is it this one? Yeah, okay, we grab this one. And then we do a little something like this. A little something like that. I think that should work. Okay. All right, let me catch back up on chat now. I use my YouTube hype point. Oh, thank you so much for the hype points. Oh yeah, the Kentucky Sawbones Frank ran was so fun. Yeah. Oh, I should double check that the videos no longer show. Okay, cool. The thumbnails came through. Well, most people hanging out in here probably are familiar with all the stuff going on, but we've got a bunch of videos. There's multiple actual plays and reviews. So there's a lot of content down there for and interviews that I've been on. And I apologize if somebody interviewed me and I'm blanking on it and I didn't add it to this list, ping me and I will add you to the list. I actually had totally spaced on adding my interviews to the video section, but please let me know. Hey, August. Welcome, welcome. Excuse me. Wow, wow. 69 backers, nice. Very nice. Woo, yeah. So one of the ideas is the first 72 hours, you hope to get a third of your funding, is the hope, right? First couple days, you want to try to get a third of your funding, and we're off to a really strong start. So it's going quite well. And especially because not a lot of my advertising, I did some advertising beforehand, but I didn't do a ton. Oh, Dothy's video's out. Oh, snap. So Dothy at Mystic Arts, does it feel real yet? No. This video might be a little long to watch on stream. Let me see, 17 minutes. I really want to, oh man. Do you guys want to, I'll wait to watch this, but Dothy at Mystic Arts, and I'll post a link to his video here in chat for those that want to check it out later. But he reached out to me and he took 3 monsters from Clockworld and made them into bosses for his campaign, which is just a really cool thing to do. So super hyped. What I'm going to actually do is I'm going to let this run. I'm going to give it a view in the background, and I can come back to that later. In the background, and I don't need to have my own stream up. Okay. Post was shared on Instagram. Getting some Instagram notifications. Oh, cool. Amy posted. I gotta see. Where is it? Yeah. Amy Vorpal. So in the adventure section, or in the stretch goals. So one of the stretch goals is that Amy Vorpal, Iffy Wadiway, and a number of familiar content creators, game designers, and YouTubers will be making adventures to be provided for all backers for free if we get to that goal. Like full high quality PDF adventure set. What hashtags? Oh gosh. Hashtag Tales from Elsewhere. I'm bad at hashtags. I don't even know how that works. The squirrel sneaking in. He's in there. I thought that was the best way to incorporate your your YouTube squirrel, was just to have him poking his head in. Yeah. So this is one I really want to get to. So on the YouTube channel, you've heard the music that plays in the background. We even posted like one of the tracks on YouTube, and it's to pay Pierce Martin, this composer who's awesome, to make like a full free soundtrack for everybody so that you can have like ambient Weird West music when you're running games. And I'm just going to listen to one of his tracks in the background here while we're hanging out. I won't have it too loud because it's just so darn good. Guy is incredibly talented. Yeah, so here's hoping we get some stretch goals. Yeah, the animatic track that he made, the underscore. So, FYI, we're going to be releasing, in the not too distant future, a making of video about the music and the sound design of the animated trailer, because the composer put together a video for that, and it's going to be super cool. So you can see none of that is, he didn't use any like soundboards, basically. He made all of the sounds himself, and that's just how he works. He for this project, it's incredible. Oh my gosh, I have so many pings in Discord. Hold on, hold on, y'all. Hey, Jordan. Yeah, I can't wait, dude. Can't wait to work together with you on this. It's gonna be so fun. I appreciate y'all who are plugging in your Discord servers. Thank you so much. That means a lot. Getting the word out. Ooh. All right, I'm clearing some Discord servers messages. Okay, I can't. Okay. Daniel and Tim, I can't put on the internet the image that you guys and Brendan sent me. we can't post that one on the internet, sadly. Lots of people joined in the Discord server. Hello, hello. Oh, Dave Carroll, I just saw. I don't know if you're in Discord right now, but y'all back in at the super supporter tier is I don't even know what to say. Oh my gosh, there's so many backers already. Okay, let's see. Wow, people have bought Double Barrel books. Somebody bought Forge a Legend. I'm overwhelmed in a good way by that. So we have some super tiers, and the idea with a super tiers is that it's for people that want to go way beyond, right? They're going to get all the books and PDF and all that, but they want to really help support the project, and they get to be involved in the game in some way, whether from an art or design standpoint. And so one person has bought Forge a Legend, where they get to design an artifact with me to be included in the game. I'm incredibly honored that somebody did that. That's so cool. I can't wait to work, whoever that was, I can't wait to work on this with you. It's going to be super fun. Yeah. So yeah, the super tiers are, since we're not giving like a bunch of like physical stuff, these really are just, hey, you want to really support us, and here's a really cool thing you get. Sending hate from Chino, says Zach. So that Zachary, not the Peasantry TTRPG Zachary, is my very, very dear friend, and who's probably having a great work day right now. Yeah, the can of beans and cornbread artifact. I mean, hey, Scrag, give me $1,000 and we'll make that an artifact. Wow. Just amazing so far, guys. Just incredible. And I talk about it at the bottom of the Kickstarter, where I go into shipping. But just to, for international friends out there, like, shipping's really crazy right now. Right? Shipping internationally out of the United States. So, and who knows what it's going to be next year when we're sending the books. So if you're nervous at all about that, please just stick with digital, because all of the stretch goals are digital, right? So if you get the PDF, any stretch goal we happen to unlock, you get as well, right? There wouldn't be any shipping issues providing you with all of this stuff. That was very intentional. And then Frank asks, does Kickstarter give a 403 error to anyone else? Oh. Shouldn't be giving an error. Let me refresh the page, see if it's giving me an error when I refresh. Okay, no, it's not erroring on my end. So to answer Frank's question, okay, so what's left for the book, basically? So from a player perspective, everything is done. It's just, there's balancing, of course. But what I'm working on is getting the GM section cleaned up, basically condensing a lot of what I talk about in my YouTube videos into written form, which isn't actually that hard. So I'm getting that built out. And I'm finishing, the main focus is the monster section. So I've already built most of the monsters already, right? They're just not in the manuscript form, so I'm doing a big pass on them and getting them written up, filling out all their lore, and the guidance on how to run them. And so that's coming along really well. There's a lot of like just lore and world building that I want to inject into the book, but that's a casual writing project, because a lot of people don't need a ton of that, right? Like, it's all written out in various forms. It's just putting it into the project. But basically, it's a lot of big balance passes. Me, Red Richard are working a lot on that. I know Twin Steel, we've talked about that as well, and I'll be working with him. But basically, it just needs refining now, and then it's ready to go. But what's going to take a while to deliver for the final rulebook is mainly because we're getting so much artwork. There's like over 200 pieces of art that are being scheduled if we get funded. And that's going to take some time for the artists to make. We have a team of them at this point that we're working with, but that's still a lot. And we don't want them to rush that. But during a couple months after the Kickstarter funds, we're going to be providing a beta PDF to everybody who backed it so that you don't have to wait. If you want to play the game while we're building all the art, you'll have a basically content complete rulebook, mostly content complete rulebook that you'll be able to use and play in PDF form. Will it be fully edited? No. Will the layouts look great? Not so great. Will it be perfectly balanced yet? Not so much. But that's okay. It's there. We can play it. You can give feedback. And, we could help balance it together, basically. Yes. Oh, hey, cross paths. Yes, I have two... scroll down this long page. Yes, I have two Indigenous sensitivity readers, cultural consultants that I'm working with on that subject. Absolutely. I've met with one of them in person, actually, as they're local to me. When tackling anything inspired by 19th century America, American Southwest, and so forth, and with Native American elements in my game, it was important that I consult with folks on that. I've also been doing a lot of legwork myself, reading a lot of Indigenous fiction, so written by Indigenous people, especially Westerns and horror, and it's all been wonderful. So it's been so cool, and they're really on board, Ezekiel and Jade. So good question. Oh yeah, I appreciate it. It's very important to tackle anything inspired by controversial things with respect, right? That's what it's all about, because these are games, and the Wild West is a fantasy, right? What we perceive it as is a fantasy, right? And so how you portray that fantasy matters. Well, y'all know me, I'm a history nerd, and so, okay, I really just want to watch this video. I'll come back to it though. I feel like watching a 20-minute video on stream may not be the most exciting thing for us as viewers. Thank you, Jorban, the Elder Goblin. Yeah, it's a fun game. What can I say? I like my game. I'm catching up here on chat here. So Gustavo asks, apart from the color, is there any difference between the regular Hellfire Red and Eldritch Green? So the Eldritch Green the special edition is going to be slightly embossed with foil elements. So the cover is just going to be a higher quality book. Other than that, nope, it's the same content. It's just the cover itself is going to be different, like a higher, more expensive quality. So it'll have embossing, and those energy wisps are going to be foil. Sorry, catching up. History. Silverado wasn't a documentary. Yeah, right. Hey, Swords and Stones. Thank you, my friend. Stop making me want to change my pledge. Right. How many tables generative tools are in the book? Oh, yeah. So great question. Okay. A lot is how I'll describe it. So there is a whole end of the book section that is random tables. And the random tables are things like random equipment. So you could pull from the whole equipment list randomly. Random crimes you can generate, right, of different levels of punishment. Random Wild West names and Wild West nickname generators. Random horrible descriptions of injuries based on the type of weapon used. But Peter, oh yeah, there's the random garbage table, which is a D percentile. It's 100 pieces of garbage, like weird pieces of garbage that you can find. Um, the I don't think we have it very visible here, but kind of just want to show it. Hold on. Let me show you guys something. I'm going to open this up on my other screen to make sure I don't show anything that I shouldn't. So hold, please. Yeah, I don't want to dox myself here in chat. Okay. So this should be showing up on stream. Okay. So on the subject of random tables. Oh geez. Thank you, Adobe. I don't need an AI to summarize the book I wrote. Thank you. So forgive, this is all very in progress, what we're seeing here, and I'm trying to, oh, it's not doing what I want it to do. Okay. See if I can get this to show up on the stream looking okay. Come on. Oh my gosh. Adobe. This is awful. Okay. This will have to do. It's being every threat page, every threat entry, every monster entry is going to have or has random tables built in to their stat, like built in for inspiration. Like when for the Arizona or for the Coal Baron, it has like a D6 table of temptation inspiration. Like how could it tempt the players, or like what deal do they want it to make? The Arizona Tenor has an inspiration table for what curse, what foul deed caused them to come back from the dead. So basically every monster also has, I call them inspiration tables, because they're not quite a spark table for those that are familiar with how spark tables work. It's more like, here's a bit of flavor, ideas for you to get your adventure started, to get your scenario started for this creature. There's a bounty hunter threat that has an inspiration table for why the bounty hunter might be after the players. And it's examples like, maybe one of the players looks just like a wanted thief, and so the bounty hunt, it's a case of mistaken identity, right? It's a bunch of stuff like that. Or maybe a former villain that the players encountered who survived has paid a bounty hunter to kill one of the players, right? So I love random tables like that as a source of inspiration. It doesn't run the game for you per se, but it helps get the wheels turning, so you can know how me, the designer, how I intended this to be used in the type of stories I wanted to tell. And yeah, the pages that our layout designer has put together are absolutely gorgeous, and I just can't wait for the whole rulebook to be made like this. And of course, this is still rough draft. Yeah, so random tables built in for all the threats. Every single one will have random table inspiration as well as in the full rulebook. So great question. I love those kind of random tables. Just catching up on chat now. Oh yeah, thank you. Yeah, I love the layouts. And you know what Scrat said in his review, I think is a good way to phrase it. I'm not reinventing the wheel. This is a double column rulebook. There's a lot of words. But the hope is that it's a clear, well-organized, and evocative double column rulebook. It's just trying to do that well. What are your thoughts on solo play in general? This is a great question, and I've been asked this a few times. I have basically zero experience doing solo play, running it, designing it, playing it. And so it's something I want to potentially include, but it's not something that's in scope for what I would say this project is right now. Like, it's not something that I could reasonably devote energy to at this stage, because pretty much the whole game is built by me. Like, the game is built by me. We have a team here, and they're awesome and contribute so much. But solo play would potentially have to be delegated, and it's just not something we think we have bandwidth to accommodate. Having said all of that, my rule system is actually very conducive to solo play. Like, I can tell. And the reason for that is the difficulties of how hard things are meant to be transparent and known to the players before they roll anyway. Like, it's a very transparent system. The monsters are built with very, excuse me, intentional designs and behaviors. So I think solo play could actually work quite well with the system. It's something I do really want to explore. It's sadly just not in scope at this time. Yeah, exactly. Clear triggers, and so much of the more player facing a game is built, the easier it is to convert that to solo play, because the more control the players have over how the game progresses anyway. And so it really helps. How much money would surprise you if you reached it? I mean, like, getting funded, not that it would surprise me, but would shock me. I mean, if we got all the stretch goals, I would be surprised, honestly, right? Like, I think that's pie in the sky to get these stretch goals. But honestly, just funding will be incredible, right? That's all I think I can really reasonably hope for, is get funded. That would be amazing. Because then can pay, right? Can pay all the folks, all the artists. Yeah, Daniel, I mean, we may have to have you research solo play rules, potentially, right? Depending on time. Because I doubt I will have a lot, excuse me, of free time to do so. I'm sorry, I've gotten pinged again. Oh, I forgot to post in the big design server. Forgot to hit enter on that message. So I got to post there in the big TTRPG design Discord server. Oh, I need to do a Blue Sky post. Oh my gosh, what am I doing? I was not on my list to do a Blue Sky post. My bad. Let's put a video up on there. Show you guys behind the scenes for a moment here. Let's post the video. Let's post the whole... Oh, you can only do GIFs on here. Oh, okay. So we'll just post an image. We'll do Embrace the Darkness. Whoops, my bad. And then I think we can post a link. Oh, that's the wrong link. So many windows open, y'all. Hold, please. While I get my life together. Oh, it's too many. Do this. We actually don't need to do that because the animatic isn't here, and post. Yeah, I need to get one of those, multi-post everywhere. You know, marketing is not my specialty. I hope Matt from Gen Con starts a YouTube channel so he's no longer just a guy. Matt from Gen Con, I don't know if you're here or where you are in the world, but you are great. Oh, Mastodon. Yeah, so I've mentioned this a few times. I did not, until I launched a YouTube channel, I basically didn't have any social media since MySpace. Because I met Mrs. the Sheriff early in life, asked her out on AOL Instant Messenger, and then basically gave up on social media after that. Don't forget to post on MySpace. Yeah, thank you. I did set up meta ads running or what have you. So those are supposed to start running this morning, which is cool. Tom from MySpace. Oh man, Tom was my friend on MySpace. Okay, so there's a bunch of messages in the TFE Discord server too. Just want to try to catch up. Okay, cool. Just catching up on pings. Okay, yeah. Oh, someone else did? Okay, let's see. Wow, we're getting so many backers. Oh my gosh. People are buying the special edition. People have bought the double barrel. Oh my goodness. Yeah. Wow. People getting the Forge a Legend and the Hero of the Ruination. It's incredible. Why isn't the red the special edition's hardcover? Well, it's because red is our brand colors, so that can't be the special edition. So the idea behind this cover is that all of our rule books will actually be the same type of cover, so like they'll match together on your shelf. So when we release future setting books, they'll have one striking piece of artwork in the center to evoke the setting and the title, and so you could have a bookshelf of our brand and it'll just look really nice. So yeah, once we have Clockworld, and if the next one's codenamed Medieval Madness, right, you'd have our setting books all together and it would just look really nice. I swear you're quieter now than at the beginning. It's possible that my voice was strained a bit and I keep walking away or leaning away from the microphone. Okay, let's catch up on. Oh, and just to let y'all know, and I posted about this yesterday, I think, in the TFE Discord server, I will be on 2 live interviews later today at, I think, 3:30 Pacific Standard. I'm going to be on DM Wally's excuse me, YouTube channel. We're going to hang out for a bit, talk shop. And then later that evening, I'm going to be on DM Tales, Wes's YouTube channel. And again, just hanging out and talking shop. Oh, I see. Looking for mom. Are you? Is that Maya? Is that who? I get names mixed up really quickly from the various servers. So can you briefly explain the mechanics really quick? Yes. So I'm going to go down here because it just helps a little bit. Okay, this is a D10 rollover system at its core. That's the very simple thing. So if you've played a D20 rollover system like Dungeons and Dragons, same idea, but it's a D10. The key aspect here is that it is very numerically simple. It's Maya. Oh, hey, cool. Hello. So you roll a 10-sided die and you add a bonus to it based on whatever skill is relevant in that situation. If you're shooting your 6-shooter, you'd use the range skill. If you're stabbing with a knife, it'd be the melee skill. If you're lying to somebody, it might be guile, so on and so forth. And that's all very basic. The idea is that that is the only mathematical operation you will make in the game. There is no other bonuses or penalties that need to be calculated on that die roll at any given time. There's a advantage-disadvantage system, very simple, but you always know the target number you're going to need to hit before you roll, and a natural 1 does not automatically fail, and nor does a natural 10 automatically succeed. And that's because the game intends for you to have obstacles you can't overcome alone, or ones that you have no chance of failure. Because the price of failure can be so high in this game as its horror. You're supposed to work together to bring the difficulties down, use tools and cleverness to do so. So it's very expedient. With a D10, you know the odds roughly of something happening, and it keeps the mathematics very low. Like the numbers you're looking for are very small. The other big idea behind the game is that there is an injury system, and that injury system is really what makes the game special. There's no hit points, and this isn't like a wound. It's not like Savage Worlds wounds where you're incrementing tick marks that represent a global penalty to all die rolls, the more of them you get. Instead, every injury is a packet of mechanical and narrative consequence that you then have as a player. So you could take a serious bleeding gunshot wound, and this packet is given to you, and it affects you until you treat that injury and address this packet, this problem you've now been given. And characters can only receive so many injuries of different severities before those boxes fill up, and they have to write them in the next most severe. And if you can't write it anywhere, you die. So each one has to be triaged on its own. And the fact that when you treat that injury, it doesn't actually erase it from your sheet. It simply checks a box that says the complications no longer affect you. So it acts as long-term attrition. But it's both the players and the enemies they face use this structure. So for example, in a session that I ran yesterday, Bone Wizard's character got picked up by the neck by a blood oiler, and it started to crush his throat and like strangle him. So Stephanie ran over with her mutated clawed hands and tore at the blood oiler's arm to injure it so that it dropped Bone Wizard's character. Because there's location targeting. You injure parts of the body. And with these blood oilers, which you can see here on the screen, there are these big clockwork undead monstrosities that keep fighting no matter how hurt they are, really, right? They're not going to give up like a bandit would. So the players were like knocking out a leg so it goes down, and then breaking its really dangerous arm, and then eventually one of them like grabbed it by its head and tore the head off, right? You know, it was super dramatic. So the injury system is very visceral and has extremely high consequences. Like what Scrat said in his review, like, yeah, there's some crunch to the game, but when the violence starts happening, it resolves quickly because it's so consequential. You don't really do trade blows back and forth for long. People start losing limbs and getting torn up really fast. So that's my elevator pitch for the system. It's very cool. Down at the bottom, there are a number of recorded games, some actual plays like pre-recorded, and some live games that give a demonstration. I know your channel, Looking for Mom, does I forget if they do live or actual plays, pre-recorded or live, but I'm definitely down to talk, by the way. I know like we've been orbiting each other in some of the Discord servers, so hit me up sometime and we'll talk. Okay, that was I could talk for a long time about the system, but that's the rough pitch of it. Oh, I see Frank had to head out. See you, Frank. Oh yeah, so and it's side-based initiative. All of the players have one shared turn. Each player gets to take 2 actions during that turn, but they can do it in any order they want. So the players discuss on how to solve the problems together, and they need to because it's so deadly. So one player could use an action to give a benefit to another player, like buff them in some way. Then that player goes and utilizes that buff to accomplish something. And then that first player uses their second action to do something else afterward based on how things changed. You're supposed to work together. You do live, recorded, and pre-recorded. Oh, awesome. I mean, yeah, let's talk. If you're ever interested in doing something with this game, I'd love it for sure. Okay, let's see. It's wounds time. Yeah, I went like an hour without mentioning wounds, Rich. It's amazing. I know. I know. I haven't talked about wounds yet. It's a funny question. You mentioned TFE Core Engine and Kickstarter. Can you mention more on that? Would like to see from the community. Gotcha. So, great question from Sunset Boulevard. So, to scroll down, ongoing support. So, I love the Morkborg license. I love the Shadow Dark license. I think those are examples of licenses that are very community first when it comes to allowing people to generate content for it. And oh, hey, Lorenzi, and don't sweat it, Lorenzi. It's all good. But you hanging out in the Discord server and talking is supporting the project. So, oh, hi, Penny. I just saw that Penny says hi. So the TFE Core and TFE OGL, the idea is that there's going to be an open game license to generate content that is compatible with my game on any of the games that I make using this system. Like Morkborg, you'll be able to have a compatible with TFE sticker. You know, you slap on a game that says, hey, this can be played with TFE products. You will not have to pay a penny to do so. There's nothing like that. It's completely open. The reason being is indie games are about community, and they survive on the community that helps make them a reality and then keeps them going. We're such a small operation here that there's no way we could make all of the adventures and supporting content that keeps really a community growing and thriving. And so allowing the community in to create their own content and then sell that content themselves without giving us a cut is the way to go. So the TFE core is going to be, it's an SRD, and it's the core resolutions of the game, which is the wound system, right? The skill checks, how that works. It's most of the game mechanics. So the game mechanics itself are like the engine. The Clockworld setting is a whole setting book built on that engine. And we're going to build more setting books using that engine and adding on to it. and they'll all be cross-compatible with each other because they're all built on the same engine. Kind of like how a game like Savage Worlds or GURPS can be adapted into a bunch of different settings, we'll be doing that ourselves, and they'll all be compatible with each other. And with the SRD, the TFE Core and TFE OGL, anybody could make more setting books using the TFE system, and it would be compatible with these products. Whether that's adventures, expansions. Once you guys get your hands on the game and just see the math of it, it's super easy to homebrew. Like, super easy to homebrew in this system because the math is very linear and simple, but it works. Like, the engine works really well. So super easy to build homebrew stuff with. It's going to be a lot of fun. The vibe of the engine, the engine is built for action horror gameplay primarily, but you can shift it up on the action and up or down on action versus horror, I think. So wound systems tend to be for grittier games in general, right? Because it's a little bit more visceral. So like high fantasy adventure, heroic fantasy doesn't work quite as well, right? Because the players are more vulnerable in that way, right? So that's what it's best for. But you can swing it in a couple different directions, I think. But, grittier systems tend to be favoring in that. As far as the name, I'm not sure. One I had is like a whisper of Elsewhere rather than a tale of Elsewhere. Found in Elsewhere is very cool. For now, I just call it the TFE Core and the TFE OGL for simplicity. Let's see. How quick do you think new players can get started playing if the GM is new too? So when the whole table is new to a system, it can take a minute to get used to it. But I think that this rule system is simple enough that if you're used to crunchier games, like a D&D, a Pathfinder, where there's a lot of exceptions built on top of a core resolution, where most of the gameplay are those exceptions, as in it's the special abilities and the feats and the spells and the special attacks you get, that there's a lot more you need to grok. As far as, I know that when brand new players play the game, when I run it, like at conventions, where they literally sit down having never heard of it, you pick it up in just a few minutes. It's super simple. Honestly, I think if you're used to running games like index card RPG, or ones where you have a very simple difficulty setting structure, that can help. But honestly, there's a quick start packet you can download that has everything for the players and the GMs with pre-gens. And if that's like, if when in doubt, there's a bunch of free materials you can download actually, like that give you an impression on the game. Now they aren't as fancy looking as these final products are going to be because I did the layouts and graphic design is not my passion. But if you go down to the bottom of the Kickstarter page, playtest materials, there are these cool printable gatefold character sheets that have built-in tutorials like on how they work that we brought to Gen Con. You can download and print those. There's some layout samples, just all sorts of stuff you could download to give it a try. Where does the crunch come in for this game? Where would you put it on a scale of 1 to 10 for crunch? Draw Steel Lancer being a 10. Oh, that's a really good question. This is a really hard... Okay, back to Excalibur. My favorite place, living in Excalibur. Okay, so we've got crunch level here, right? Which is maybe we would say rules weight, So on one end you'd have rules light, and the other side you might have something called rules heavy. I can type. Also referred to as crunch. These terms are actually highly subjective, and y'all know I rant about this on my YouTube channel a lot. So where certain games fall on this spectrum is also highly subjective, I would say. So we'll grab D&D, and I'm going to say D&D 5e. We'll grab Lancer, and we'll grab index card RPG, and so Lancer. If we're putting Lancer all the way on heavy, D&D 5e is probably honestly not on the light side, but probably more past the halfway point, is maybe we would say. Highly subjective. My game, if we were to put TFE somewhere in here, I would honestly put it here. It's not rules light, it's not rules heavy, but it's erring on the side core resolution wise as light. Now, the reason why it is that is this. Okay. A game like Lancer and a game like D&D, and we could put Pathfinder 2nd Edition here as well. These games build... yeah. These games build... I want to make these blue just for colors. So what these games do is they have a simple core resolution system. It's your action economy, some very basic things, and then they layer on top of that a lot of extra things you can do. So like think about in D&D 5th edition, how simple it is to just roll a d20 and do a skill check, or like to make an attack roll. It's all very simple. But playing a level 5 wizard, you've layered on top of that a dozen new things you can do that you can only do because of those spells you have prepared. With Lancer, depending on what frame you have built, gives you a new set of things you can do, right? And yeah, I'm seeing chat is already starting to debate about the terms I've used. Don't worry about the terms. So what these games say is we have a simple core resolution system, and then we've placed a lot of extra things on top. So if a player has only played a champion fighter in D&D 5th edition for 3 years, and then you hand them a wizard or a cleric, they may be like, whoa, this is way more complicated than it was before, right? Because they've layered on top of it. So that's where some of the crunch comes in there, right? Apart from all the grid-based and tactical things. With TFE system, the core resolution is most of what you can do, because targeting things on the body, doing combat maneuvers, improvising ways of harming people, all that kind of stuff is built into the core resolution. And the special features called edges create exceptions and little extra things that modify that more so than give you a new thing you have to learn. So, and the rank system makes all the math really easy to learn for the game. It's all very concrete. So I would say erring on the lighter side, but kind of like a Powered by the Apocalypse game that has a lot of rules. The character creation is very robust because it's open. You build it from composite pieces. So even if your character is simple, you get to pick from 50 backstory elements and 133 different edges to like construct your unique character. So there's a lot to pick especially when you're first making your character. If you don't use a pre-gen, it can be a little overwhelming. But once you get into the rhythm of it, it's actually really quick to make a character in this game because you understand, you get how it's structured. Okay, I was ranting for a bit on there. Let me catch back up on messages here. So yeah, Odin, Zarek put it as a 3 or a 4. I think that's fair, like a 3 or a 4 if the middle is a 5. Yeah, that's a fair one there. Okay. Tales from Elsewhere, Deep Space Nine. Yeah. Oh, Dave Carroll. Hey, buddy. Yeah. Appreciate you, dude. 100%. Oh, Red Richards here. Yeah. 100% homebrewable. Oh yeah. It's so homebrewable. So this setting is going to have, all this Weird West world for you to play with and use and all this inspiration. But honestly, you could take it and customize it super easily. It's just not that crunchy a game from an underlying mechanic standpoint. Whisper of Elsewhere as an acronym, WOE, is pretty great, right? I saw Huckleberry RPG had to head out. But for those that haven't heard of, Google Huckleberry RPG. That's also going to be looking for crowdfunding later this year. I've taken a look at that product. It's super cool. I love Weird West. We're in like a resurgence of Weird West in the tabletop community, and it's wonderful. And his game is a different vibe than mine, even though we're both Weird West, right? There's a lot of space to play with in here. Huckleberry RPG is definitely airing more on, I would say, the fantastical and the action, while mine's airing more on the gritty and the horror. They both have horror elements, but anyway, super cool product. Rich said, can confirm, felt comfortable running it first time with just one time playing. Oh, thank you. How would you adjust the injury system if you're a low fantasy setting of exploration discovery similar to Dragonbane? Oh, Hendrik, good question. So honestly, I think the injury system works really well in a low fantasy game because the game isn't based around the concept of attrition. The players are meant to avoid injury. They can like block and parry, and by working together, they can protect themselves. So I think for an exploration or like dungeon delving adventure, it could definitely work. This rulebook, the Clockworld setting, isn't providing a lot of ammunition for that specifically in its adventure design per se. But the next rulebook probably is going to be codenamed Medieval Madness, and will be about more of a medieval low fantasy, gritty fantasy setting. So I'll plan on expanding it there later. Okay, let's catch up here. I can hear a Kentucky Sawbones in the distance. Oh, is that me coughing? Sorry, I'm behind on messages here. And Wiley, yeah. So Tales from Elsewhere is the brand, so they're all going to be Tales from Elsewhere, I think. But tomes from elsewhere would be super cool too. It's a good question. Okay, question: Clock's tracking systems present in the game. You have a great layout designer, so I'm curious how you approach the UI interfaces for things like that. Great question. So honestly, one of the most exciting things I'm most excited for when we fund, I won't say if we fund, when we fund, is that the layout, I'm going to work with my layout designer who specializes in accessibility to improve the user experience of the game. So I don't use clocks per se in my game, but you could. I'm always just used to using hash marks for successes and failures, but I would love for the game to be the rule book to be accessible and user friendly when it comes to playing. And that's something we're definitely going to be exploring with a layout designer. I'm just really bad at graphic design. It's a struggle for me. It takes me so much effort and time to make even the simplest of layouts. So that's something we're definitely going to try to improve for sure. Let's see here. Yeah. Zarek had said this is a few minutes ago, but just because it isn't crunchy doesn't mean there's a ton of. Yeah, it's not crunchy, but there's a ton of. It's math light, but not decision light. The players are making tons of tactical decisions. They're just not mathematically complex. But right, so yeah, there's a lot to. It's very engaging to play. So Savage Goose asks if TF's the underlying system, what is next after Clockworld? Currently, the plan is to do Codename Medieval Madness, which is an early medieval horror setting, low fantasy setting, inspired by one of the darkest times in human history, which was 6th century Europe, because of some volcanic eruptions that caused effectively nuclear winters, volcanic winters across the world, and it was just really bad. So it's going to be an apocalyptic medieval story, not post-apocalyptic, apocalyptic, as in the game is during this fall, during the apocalypse, when society is crumbling. And it'll have a magic system, it'll be swords and shields, and inspired very much by the actual fall of Rome and the Romans leaving the UK, basically. I'm going to use the British Isles likely as inspiration, so as I'll be interested in that. So that's probably the next one. But we have 5 different settings already penciled out. So, oh hey, the Verve. Hello, my friend. Is there a starting introductory adventure? Yes. In bottom of the Kickstarter page, there is a link to the playtest packet, and in there is a quick start guide that is the rules of the game, how to play. And included is about a 4-hour adventure. And I ran 3/4 of it yesterday on a live stream, so you can even see how I run a lot of it. I've run that many times. So that is the introductory adventure. It's called The Last Train to Nowhere. Deadlands is going to be the medieval Arthurian times next. Super excited for it. Oh, very cool. I'm a big fan of Deadlands, as Savage Goose knows. Not Madness World. No, so the subheading is, we just have a code name right now. Honestly, and Clockworld was the code name for the setting that I was going to rename later, but I ended up loving Clockworld, the name, so much, just stuck with the setting. So all the rulebooks are Tales from Elsewhere, and then the name of the setting or the world in some way. But I'm not going to try to keep myself too beholden to something world for each of them. I'm going to let myself be more open to that. Hey, thank you, Anthony, for the congrats. Yeah, so Foundry VTT support. It's a lot of work to build a system in Foundry, and so like to actually build it out to run in there. So that's a stretch goal for later. We just don't have the bandwidth to work on that. So yeah, those big digital ones, like those are really stretch goals toward the end, which I'd love to do. Um, but since there's scope increasing, they have to be outsourced, and therefore people have to be paid, to do so, and it's a whole thing. Um, oh, so Sunset Boulevard was asking about Grimwild. Yeah, so Grimwild, it was really sad to hear about this. The designer of Grimwild, JD Maxwell, is no one can get a hold of him and haven't been able to for several months, and that's very concerning. Hopefully he's okay, because he clearly had a ton of passion for his projects, both Grimwild and the Wild World of Venture, I think, or whatever that one was called, his Weird West setting. And he basically went dark, and his team, the artists and such, haven't been able to get a hold of him to fulfill. And that's very worrying. I hope he's okay. Um, yeah, and so there's issues of not being able to fulfill the projects that were all fully funded and backed over the last year or two. So hopefully he's okay, and you know that'll people will be able to either get their money back, or they'll get a hold of him and be able to finish their projects. You don't have to worry about that with me. I'm far too public a figure, and the people on my team are in my personal life. Like, I'm not going anywhere. Not going anywhere, guys. Let's see. Yeah, so Odinski Gaming saying for Space Western. So yeah, we're going to do a sci-fi setting at one point. You take that setting book, you take the Clockworld setting book, mash them together, and you could totally play Firefly, right? Really easily. Tales from Elsewhere, Dark Empire. Yeah, those are some cool names. Oh, I get you. Uh, I mean, it would be awesome. So Foundry is super cool. Like, the power of Foundry is super cool. I think that'd be awesome. I actually just use Albert Rodeo most of the time because I'm lazy when it comes to digital tools. How long is the stream going for today? I don't know. I'm going to have to take a break soon because I'm just getting tired, because I've been up since like 5 in the morning. But I'm just hanging out now. We're just hanging out. And, as long as chat's engaged, we're chilling. Oh, Charlie was saying they were all freelancers. Oh, okay. Well, fortunately, yeah, the guys on the TFE team here, I've known my whole life. They know me in my personal life, so they're not just freelancers. The artwork and such outside of that are freelance that we are contracting. Yeah, Albert Rodeo is just so quick to spin up and free and easy. That's usually what I do. I don't need all the fancy stuff. I just want a board with a map and some tokens on it. I don't even often bother with grids, because TFE, the TFE rule system can be used with grids, but it doesn't need them, as it uses an adjacent, close, far, distant sort of range bands for its primary distance measuring, for how far things move, how far the weapons are. So you don't actually need to grid, but you can. The game can be played a little crunchier and more grid tactical if you want. Totally can. Like, Red Richard likes to run on the grid. Totally works well that way too. You don't necessarily need to, but it's a dealer's choice on that aspect. So with VTTs, you could use a grid map if you want, or just slap an image on it and it also just works. I've run it fully theater of the mind too. It works just fine. Oh yeah, as a professional GM, oh absolutely. If as a professional GM, right, there's a production value assumption that people come in, right? It's a value add you're providing when, you can have all of this built in as a professional GM, right? So people show up to a session digitally, and it just comes off as clean, professional, with cool automations or map transitions. Like, I set up the quick start adventure last year into nowhere. I built it in Foundry with like pulsing lights when the lanterns on the train are on. Like, you can do super cool stuff there that's a lot more robust than something like Albert Rodeo. So yeah, good point, Jake. For TFE, if you had to pick between Adventure Modules campaign book or a setting supplement, would you pick? Yeah, adventure modules. Oh, like if for other people were making it? I love adventure modules. Um, like if that's what other people are making, adventures would be great. Because honestly, one of the hardest things to do when you want to run a game is to write an adventure. And so the more adventures that are out there, 1 shots, 2 shots, 3 shots, all of that is, you know, that's the kind of thing that I would love to build it out. Stories for people to tell. And the game, the world itself, the map is built to allow you to fill things in if you do want to write your own adventures really easily. Like the idea of negative spaces in the world, right? Outside of civilization is the ruination, and you can put whatever you want out there. So I think it's going to be a nice space for people to write adventures, should they wish to. But I mean, hey, more setting books would be cool too. Terrain and minis. Oh yeah, terrain and minis are so fun. So I used, I'm a big Hero Forge fan, and I had gotten some gift cards a while ago, and these are probably not going to show up. But all of the pre-gens that are in the quick start have a dedicated mini that is them that I brought to Gen Con. Like here's mine. Where's the Reverend? Here's the Reverend Hezekiah Pace. So like I had them all printed out because it's just so fun. And there's definitely some videos out there showing like the cool terrain we brought to Gen Con and the physical props. I love playing in person, and I'm really spoiled because my local D&D group, the host of that, has been collecting and painting minis for decades, and so he has everything. We have these awesome, absolutely incredible, yeah, I'll find a picture. Hold on, let me. I'll show you guys how spoiled I am. I gotta find one that doesn't show any faces or anything though. So just hold on a second, because I don't want to like. Okay, this should. So while we're playing D&D, for example, because this is my D&D group, right? I don't run a lot of D&D these days, but I still have fun playing it. So this is the kind of stuff that the host of our game group, we have a rotating DMC, but this is the host. He just has this stuff just all the time. Just absolutely crazy, awesome tabletop setups that are just amazing. So we're super spoiled there. I mean, oh yeah, here's another good one. So like if we love playing pirate campaigns. So like he has whole ships and all these pirate minis. It's just so cool. Anyway, I'm very spoiled. Let's see. Yeah, there's some good STL files. Yeah, I don't have a 3D printer, though I'm actually going to potentially get a video sponsored by a small 3D printer making company, which would be super cool. Favorite books. Oh, like novels? Oh, I want to do a whole video on it. Okay, there's a whole list of them. So Blood Meridian was hugely influential, of course, like the Dark Tower series. Indian Burial Ground by Nick Medina, the ones listed here, really good. I've got it sitting right here. This book called Red Rabbit, which is a Weird West book, so good. Also, The Only Good Indians by, what's his name? Blanking on his name. There's an anthology book called Don't Whistle at Night, which is indigenous horror that was quite good. I've read a bunch of Louis L'Amour. Of course, I've read Louis L'Amour, right? If for Westerns, you got to read Louis L'Amour. Is there any particular location in the world that is your favorite? Oh, that's a good question. Let me pull up the world map. Let's look at the world map together, shall we? Maps, just navigating all the folders. Okay. Favorite place in the world. That's really tough. That's a really tough choice, actually. It's such a... Honestly, Fort Sangravita, where some adventures begin. Zoom in here on it. Right here on the edge of Plains County. Little sketch of it. Is just such a cool place to begin an adventure. You're on the very western edge of what's left of human civilization. And it's a besieged location, right? Creatures will come across the La Lengua River, right, to attack human civilization. This fort helps protect everything beyond it. And so it's a great jumping off point for like a West Marches style or adventure out into Los Dientes Mountains and out there. And that's such a great jumping off point. I have a soft spot for the town of Prosper because some internal campaigns went here. This is where DuPont Robotics sits. Détrompe is, New Orleans, which is a lot of fun. I've written an adventure that takes place in Estancia Quemada, which is another fun location. It's just so cool. I just love it. I just love the world, of course. But you'll notice that there's like a lot of just art and blank spaces here because the intention is that whatever story you want to tell, just fill in the blanks, honestly. Like, you want another town in between Langstrom City and Fairhaven? Go for it. There's another little town on the road, on that railroad line, right? Fill it in. It's not meant to be super, super detailed, mainly because it's just made by people in fiction, right? Filling in the information they know. So, I love it. Yeah, Spider Lake's awful place. Oh, you meant adventure modules. Oh, gosh. I can't think of any like really good adventure modules off the top of my head, honestly. It's a really tough thing. I find like D&D adventure modules often kind of bad. I'm still working on my own ability to write pre-written adventure modules, as they're quite challenging. Oh yeah, the scored out towns. Yeah, the idea is that this map was pre-Calamity, and then the scouts have since crossed things out, right, that no longer are there. So maybe there's a ruin or some reason to adventure, like the Grosserwald up here near Spider Lakes is crossed out. What's there? What was there? Why is it crossed out? The rulebook doesn't answer that question for you. That's for you to inject with the story you want. That's a negative space, right? There's a gap here, like, hey, fill it in with a story you'd like to tell. Why is that the case, right? I think that kind of thing is a lot of fun. Yeah, writing adventures is super tough. I find it very easy to run an adventure. I find it very tough to write an adventure. Right? That's the really tough part. Wow. Absolutely crazy, guys. We almost have a third of the funding in the first hour, basically. That's absolutely awesome. Absolutely incredible. Wow. So cool. Already 116 backers. And we're really just getting to negative spaces. I know I'm slow on the draw when it comes to wounds and negative spaces. My bad. Yeah, yeah, exactly. Easy to think of a premise. Yeah, I find it so easy to sit down and improvise a whole session, but like writing it out for somebody else to play and for that to be effective and not too railroady and to allow them to inject their own improv to it is very tough. See a milestone play? Tell us about your favorite monsters and how you'd use them. Well, the Blood Oiler is probably my favorite monster ever. I love this guy. He's just so gnarly and gross and and brutal. And Stephanie got to experience that firsthand just yesterday. It's why this monster's all over the artwork and the advertising. It's just also so Weird West, so like steampunk. But I love using them. What I've found really effective about Blood Oilers is that they're Terminators, right? Is that they're really, really hard to kill. And they have this unstoppable feeling for them. And what the Blood Oiler focuses on then, when you communicate to the players that this is hard to kill, due to the injury system, it starts making them think, okay, how do we neutralize this threat rather than kill it faster? So with bandits, oftentimes, the gunslingers are shooting the bandits in the head and you just kill them really quickly. Bandits are easy. The Blood Oiler walks into the scene and you start really paying attention to its biology. What weapon configurations does it have? What because they're customizable on the GM side. Then you threat assess which of those weapons is most dangerous to you in that moment, to the party. and then you try to neutralize that so that it doesn't kill anybody while you try to take it down. So they're a little puzzle in a monster. They're not a unique threat in that you only fight one. They're not like a super boss monster. You can have multiple in a scene, but it gets very difficult if there's more than one in a scene. But what I love about them from a moment-to-moment action standpoint is, yeah, how much they force the players to triage the situation involving them. Narratively speaking, what's fun about them is that everybody in fiction has heard of the Blood Oilers. They're not something super mysterious. They're just, no one really lives to tell the tale after encountering them. And so you can build tension for them over time. And after the players have faced Blood Oilers once, then you bring them back. I did a video on this a while ago about bringing back monsters later, like how to make it interesting the second time. And the idea is that, like, so in the session you played, Stephanie, like, you guys survived the Blood Oilers, you get away, and then maybe you were playing a campaign, and then, like, real world 2 months later, you come back to town after an adventure, and you're a small settlement, and you find the town empty, and then you see, like, a couple severed limbs and some spilled oil. And the players, not even the characters, the players are like, oh shit, right? They're like, oh no, Blood Oilers, because they know how dangerous they are. And so, more so than just a monster you fight, right? It's not just like this stat block of, oh, here's a fairly dangerous monster from the stat block. But it's like, there's something about the Blood Oilers that are just scary because they mutilate and then they abduct. And that threat of them the Blood Oilers aren't there to win a fight. They're there to take victims, to take captives. It's all just very intense. And it's so easy to write action horror storylines using them as a villain. And the scene where Jason, Anothi Strife's character, like, got on top of the wounded Blood Oiler, you guys, like, taken down a knee and, like, disabled one of its arms, and he got on top and, like, tore its head off with his hands because he's super strong. You know, just, like, twisted it off. And then it went into its death throes, swinging its saw blade around. It was all just so badass. Like, it was just so fun. So, I love me the Blood Oiler. The Kentucky Sawbones is a quick number 2, though. Just the idea of a sentient swarm of severed left arms that possesses your left arm to try to kill you is awesome. And then the arm detaches and crawls into the swarm. Absolutely love it. Blood Oiler, yeah. Nothing like a customizable hot iron arm. Yeah, exactly. That was such a fun session. Yes. Oh, Tarla. Exactly. That one it's like Superman 3 or something is the one that's from, where, yeah, like Lex Luthor's assistant or something gets, like, pulled into the supercomputer and turned into a monster, and it's horrifying. Yeah, it was, like, super scary then, and, like, was it like 83 or something that movie came out? Yeah, Sunset Boulevard. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, the idea with this game is that the rulebook is going to be big. It's like 380 pages approximately. But most of that it doesn't mean, like, you have to follow the rules. Like, the lore section is going to say, excuse me, the lore section says, like, here is a world for you to start with, and it's going to build some things for you, but you don't need to use any of it. Wow, excuse me. Tickle in my nose. Yeah, I like the idea that you can build out your map, and that's why, you know, here's just a slice of known civilization. What's out beyond that? Are there more human settlements, other human groups that have survived the calamity? Fill in the blanks, right? Yeah, I like that style. So, no, I would nope out so fast. Yeah, I'm getting bonus points for bringing up old Superman films. I do love superhero content in general. See ya, Peasantry. See ya, Zachary. Have a good one. Yeah, I'll probably go for a little bit longer. I might need to take a break and have some food and try to calm down a little bit. Oh, yeah, I don't really use PBTA style moves. I don't. That's just not my preferred way to design a game. I think it's perfectly fine, you know, to play games like that. But TFE doesn't use moves in that same way. It doesn't house things in a little packet off to the side so much, right? That's what a move is, a packet that you only pick up and use as needed, right? It's a packet of rules that fully contains its resolution. The TFE structure is more like, here is a bedrock, a foundation of rules resolutions that you can use for any number of things, but it doesn't like layer on top of that like a PBTA game. Ooh, boy. How are we doing on the page now? Wow. We are at 121 backers. Oh my goodness, y'all. That's absolutely amazing. Can't believe it. In just an hour and a half? Wow. That's incredible. Oh, we have 2 heroes. 2 people have forged a legend. You guys. Guys are legends. I can't believe it. That's incredible. So some people are going to get to design their own artifact for the game and include their character in the backstory element section. They're going to get to work with our artists. Wow. It's amazing. Yeah, it's slowing down a bit. While that makes sense, right? There's a big surge right when it goes live. It's slowing down a bit. I mean, it'd be incredible if to get a third back before the stream ends. Yeah, probably not, because I'm getting tired. I need to take a break because it's all just very overwhelming. But I think we're going to hit a third backed on the first day, which is just absolutely awesome. Come up with 11 artifact ideas you can have. I mean, sure, I won't turn down the brainstorming, for sure. What games are you most fascinated by and some you're excited to play? Oh gosh, imagine getting to play more games. That would be awesome. Okay, ones that I'm fascinated by from a design standpoint. Let me think about that for a little bit. So something I'm actually curious about is the new Cypher edition is shifting away from stats as hit points and doing a numerical wound system of some sort. I'm kind of curious to see how that plays out for the Cypher system in general, as one of my complaints about the system, having run a campaign in it, is the attrition of your stats isn't a very feel-good death spiral, I thought. So I'll be interested to see how that shifts. So I'm very curious about that. Excited to play. You know, this game is old at this point. I've never played Dread, and I want to play it real bad. I want to play Dread so bad. I think that would be really fun. That'd be really fun to do. And on that subject of Dread, as a designer, atypical physical media for resolution is a really interesting design space. So people have used like tarot cards, playing cards. Dread uses a Jenga tower. I think all of that is an interesting space to explore for in-person play. And that always gets me interested and excited, is like creative stuff like that. Who would win in a fight between all of your monsters, a battle royale, and the Ruination? Oh, that's interesting. I mean, it would have to be one of the Skinwalkers, probably, because they're just so smart and so powerful. But as far as like raw destructive power, the Judge of the West, which is an enormous manifestation of the overhunting, revenge from overhunting in the American West. It's a giant undead spirit bison, is probably one of the most destructive. The Oil Baron is a huge monstrosity that's really dangerous. But like the Coal Baron itself is like a genie, and so is therefore quite powerful. It's tough because a lot of the monsters their danger isn't the fact that they like are strong individually, but it's what they like, how they undermine society is really dangerous. That's interesting. But like straight up fight, something like the Judge of the West is probably going to smash everything. It's just so gnarly. Oh, 10 Candles, great example. Yeah, I've never played Dread. I've watched people play it, but I haven't gotten folks to play it in person yet. Daggerheart is very cool. I've read their SRD. I don't know if it's like the game for me per se, but I think they've done some cool stuff. I like the way they've addressed the infinite scaling or the scaling of health and how that can create unfun attrition late game. Their health abstraction, I think, is effective, even if it's just hit points at the end of the day. Yeah, I really want to play Dread. I think it'd be so much fun. And yeah, Daniel, I don't know if I need. Okay, mini rant. Cypher's a great system. Monte Cook Games is great. It's just always weird to me when like a fairly big company uses Kickstarter to fund their games because like they have funding. Like they don't need Kickstarter to fund it. It's just a little weird. But yeah, Cypher's been a lot of fun. What game designer would you love to chat or connect with? John Harper would be big. Blades in the Dark creator. I think that would be really cool to pick his brain, honestly. It's actually a really good question. What designer would I like? I'm like really fortunate that I've gotten a chance to talk with some designers in my day. But yeah, John Harper would be a really big one. I think that would be fascinating to just talk shop with him casually, you know. I'm trying to I'm trying to get a coffee date with Spencer Stark, who was the lead designer of Daggerheart and like Kids on Bikes and all these things because he's local to me. So I'm trying to get a hold of him because I ran into him at Gen Con. I think he'd be really interesting to talk to as well. Oh, Blood Oiler with a crank minigun arm. Yeah. Oh, Shane Hensley, yeah. Or like, it'd be cool to just chat with Kelsey Dion from Shadow Dark, even if like OSR isn't the space that I operate in, we could say. Right, like I think that still would be very cool to talk to her. I ran into her once at Gen Con, just didn't not in the context of game design. I talked to Davidson Cole, who worked on like Shadowrun, BattleTech, and he's working on his own board game and works on uh, Eclipse Phase role playing game. I talked to him at Gen Con for a while, and he was brilliant. So he was a lot of fun to talk to. Keith Baker, oh, good choice. Keith Baker would be fascinating. Fascinating to talk to. Yeah. Oh wow. Oh, it's still going up, guys. I wonder how my YouTube video is doing. Let's see how many. Oops, this is the wrong video. Watching my trailer. A little bit. It's not exactly taken off. That's okay. Wow, 9.2. Yeah, I think we're gonna be a third backed, you know, by lunch my time. Another couple hours maybe. Um, yeah, don't forget to like the stream, smash that like and subscribe. Wow, somebody gets to play with Keith Baker. That's cool. Yeah, if I can hang on a little longer, I think we can get to the 10K before the stream ends. I'm getting a little tired. Can you elaborate more on the backstory element for Forge the Legend? Yeah, so we've got amazing artists, and there's going to be 50 backstory elements in the rulebook, right? All these different professions, cultures, and incidents. And every single one is going to have a dedicated piece of art on the page for it. So every single one has a piece of art. The Hero of the Ruination is where you will give you the ability to pick a backstory element and that you'd want your original character idea. You could come up with the visuals for this character. So like, your OC basically could be the official artwork for a backstory element. And you'll work with me and our artist who's doing those to like make the character however you'd like to look, right? That's what that one is. You get to control the artwork that goes, and then you'd give us the name of this character that you've created, and it would go on the page, and they'd be named in the rulebook. That is... Oh, sorry, you said Forge a Legend. Yeah, so for Forge a Legend, it's giving you the Hero of the Ruination, the same thing that Hero of the Ruination gives. So Forge a Legend is where you get to design the mechanics of an artifact and be credited in the book for that. And it gives you everything from Hero of the Ruination tier. So getting to design, you also get to get your character in the rulebook. Most of your community is here, I guess. Yeah, I sure hope so. So your YouTube channel made me back without a thought. Oh, that means a lot to hear. Oh, thank you. Yeah, we've been posting a video every week for a year. It's a ton of work, and it's been a lot of fun. And that means a lot to hear. That, like, I think the game is really cool, and I hoped that by putting myself out there and showing people what I'm about and my game design philosophy and my community building philosophy, that people would like be drawn to that and want to be part of this community, and that means a lot to see. Oh, see you, Rich. Oh yeah, thank you. I really hope to build a community. I believe in like a supportive community when it comes to indie design and all that, right? I always say like a high tide raises all ships, and so that's like in the Discord server why it's like I haven't been as present in there lately because building up the Kickstarter, but it's why me and Zarek at Odinski Gaming, why we did our a tabletop community spotlight, videos where it's like, hey, if you don't have a platform to talk about a game you're working on, do a submission and we'll live stream it and show off your game, right? Indies, Apes Together Strong from the Planet of the Apes movies. Yeah, and I'm really hoping that when the TFE Core and TFE OGL is out there on our website for free, that folks will start building stuff for it, whether it's making new edges, right, for character concepts or new backstory elements for the Clockworld setting, or they want to write adventures for it, or they start making their own setting that would be compatible using these rules. All that would be super cool. That'd be a lot of fun. I hope people really get in there. Worked on me. Oh, thank you. I'm hoping that my videos are educational. That's the goal, right? Like I do take some stances on how I think games should be designed, I guess you could say, or what I think are best practices, but I'm definitely in the category of there's no wrong way to build a game. There's just different ways to accomplish different goals. Hey, okay, yeah, exactly. Building community. And it's through all that community that I ran into people like Odinski Gaming, like Zarek over there, and now he's my buddy, and I've gotten to play his game, and his game successfully funded a couple months ago, and it was awesome. I backed that. I backed his special edition cover because it's like this Silver Age style artwork. Can't wait to get that on my doorstep. It's gonna be awesome. Okay, so great question, Isaac. So where is it going to be sold after a production run? I am not sure yet, is the honest answer. There's a couple things we want to explore. One is doing a print-on-demand internationally, either through drive-through or like Mixam, something where we could get physical books at a reasonable price to the EU, to the UK, is a big priority for me, and I would love to be able to provide that in the future after the initial print run, so that we avoid the honestly insane shipping costs that things are looking like right now. We are printing in the US for our initial print run, our offset print run, right? And then shipping out. And so I would love to explore having a way to provide that internationally. We are going to have a website at one point, in all likelihood, do ordering more in the future. Basically, I can't talk about specifics at this time. Depending on how large a volume we get on our Kickstarter, we have potential fulfillment partners we're going to be working with that would help with long form providing of the product. Nothing to say about that at this time, but it is something we're in talks with behind the scenes. I just can't talk specifics about that. But this is not the last time you will get a chance to get this book, right? Assuming we fund. We will attempt to create a way to provide this for you, particularly internationally, in the future. I don't know about, probably not Amazon. I don't know about Amazon, but some sort of storefront, we could either leverage drive-through or something like that, because drive-through lets you print on demand internationally. I just know that some folks have had some inconsistent quality when it comes to doing print on demand, and so we decided to do offset print, a print run of the game specifically. That's the intention here. Hey, Odinski is getting his own special special edition book exchange. I love it. Oh, thank you, Sunset. That's what I'm That's the goal of the YouTube channel. So I'm glad that that's being read true. Sometimes YouTube comments can be nasty, right? But I'm glad that people, the intended audience, they're getting it and they're getting value out of it, and that means a lot to see. Savages. I have the same book 3 times from Drive-Thru RPG, slightly different from On the Cuts. Oh yeah, see that's kind of what I'm a little worried about for my first ever game. Like I know it would be safer to do a simpler initial run, and I know I'm being ambitious that I went for such a big project for the first printed game I make. But I'm an ambitious guy, so if I can literally, I could go meet with my sales rep for the printer I'm working with. He's local to me, and like I got to see their products in person. So being able to work more directly with my printer and guarantee a level of quality is going to mean a lot. Now it also means my profit margin is less per book than it would be if I printed a different way. But I can say I'm not in it for the money. I'm in it to make the product, and I want a premium product at the end, right? I want this book to feel premium when you get it, like it was worth the money. Just because the TFE team is like me and a couple buddies, right? I don't think that should mean we can't make a product to compete with the big guys at the end of the day through passion and dedication and community, right? Like we could make something that looks just as nice as a Hasbro product. Here, just us, like you and us together, right? We can do this kind of thing. And so that's the goal. So my profit margins are less per unit. That's okay. My day job, I'm a software developer. I have a decent income. Like I go work like right there. So I'm not trying to like overtake my day job salary or something. That's not a reasonable expectation in the indie tabletop community. But I'd love to fund the game, and then the stretch goals help fund more for that game and for future games, right? That's kind of the hope. Why joke about it when you can just make it a cool vacation? Oh yeah, so no, that would be really fun to be able to go to Europe with some books and drop them off with some friends. Yeah, I definitely could use a vacation. It's true. Zach says, if it doesn't fund, we're deleting everything. Yeah, deleting everything. YouTube channel, everything goes. Go big or go home. Yeah. Honestly, glad you really just went with what you actually wanted to do. Yeah. Yeah. Thanks, Charo. So I'm not a cynical person. I just have a lot of passion, and yeah, I just wanted to go big or go home, and it's been a lot of fun, and I think it's worth it. Oh yeah, the paper from down to TTRPG. You can tell it is print on demand. Yeah, I didn't want as an indie designer with ambition who plans on releasing more books over time, right? I wanted to make sure that this first book, my first entry for the community, the tabletop community, is one where like, okay, I would get the next book. That's a quality product, right? Like, wow, this is awesome. You know, like I picked up a copy of the One Ring at Gen Con, One Ring RPG. It's probably sitting back there somewhere. And I was like, wow, this is a really nice book. So that's what I want people to think when they pick up a copy of my book. We might actually have physical copies in local game stores. We're going to talk to a few of them and see about that down the road. Amethyst Dragon did a 25K Kickstarter that failed. He retooled it to a 14K goal and successfully funded with 33K. So I'd say even if the current Kickstarter fails, you'll learn from it and come back. Yes, absolutely true. My projection, I'm thinking we might make it to be totally funded in 30 days. Here's hoping. It's looking pretty good. So one thing that's tricky about Kickstarter and choosing your funding goal, right, which you can see on the screen, on my screen right now, is if you already have a big marketing machine, you've done this before, you could just slap a $10,000 goal on there and just be like, whatever, and you'll know you'll surpass it. the goal that's on here on this page is the actual money that we need to finish the project. Like, it's not a fake number to just make it easier to hit. Like, you know what I mean? So, because that's too much risk. If I just put 10,000 on there and I hit 10,000 and I don't actually get the amount I need, I'm on the line to finish that product. So, it's possible if the crowdfunding fails here, this game is going to exist. I'm going to finish. The book is so close to being done anyway. I'll probably just keep working on it longer, get it even more complete, get a little bit more art, and then maybe try again. Maybe not doing cutting down the art budget or something. But honestly, most of this expense is from the art, because art is awesome. And I know that I could do like a black and white book and it'd be way cheaper. But I don't want to do a black and white book. I mean, like, look at how cool this art is, right? Like, I want the book to be full of like monsters that look like this, right? Not necessarily, and no shade against it, because I do love sketch style black and white work. Like, I don't want my monster section to just be the OSR style where it's like that old school sketch style. I think that's really cool. For my game though, I want like this guy, right? It's so good. But that kind of art is not inexpensive. So hence the goal. But yeah, we'll see. Wow, I'm running out of steam. I'll probably give it another 15 minutes and then I'll call the stream, because I'll need a break and a snack and maybe lay down for a minute. Oh yeah, Stephanie, exactly. The having really evocative art, especially when you're trying to communicate a new setting to somebody, right? This isn't D&D. It doesn't have as much of that legacy already built in. Having really flashy art that really pulls you in and gets you inspired can be very helpful for doing so. Oh, I'm getting some Discord pings here. Oh, too many things up on my monitor. Just need to check to see if it's anything urgent. Okay, I think it's nothing. Okay, I will have to get back to some of these other messages later. Nothing that I need to answer this very, very moment. Okay. Okie dokie. What Amethyst Dragon did for his changes beyond marketing was to not have previous costs included in his goal. That is actually what I did as well. This is how much it's going to cost to finish, not how much has been spent before. Yeah, that's a smart way to do it. I considered everything I personally invested in this project to be fulfilling my own fantasy, right? Like, it's just incredible. Like, getting this artwork made so far, worth every penny, right? So fun. Like, the trailers, all the monster artwork, the character art, the map. Sure, if we make a lot over our goal, I could maybe recoup some of those losses, but I don't consider them really losses. They're an investment in this wonderful project. So that is not the calculation that this is. It's a 60% artwork, 30% printing, and then 10% miscellaneous taxes and costs. Oh, Braga, hello. Long time no see, buddy. Yeah, today is the day. Like, I'm with you, Zarek. So like, if this campaign like super exceeds expectations, I could take any excess money. I wouldn't use that to like pay myself back per se. I'd use it to invest in the subsequent products in the TFE ecosystem, right? Like, it would be to help get artwork ready for more products for TFE, more so than like, I'm going to pay myself back some cash. I'd rather roll it forward and just use it to seed maybe the next project, the next setting book or high quality adventure print run or something. Like, maybe if we do get to the adventure stretch goal, we can invest a little bit of that money to turn it into a printed zine, right? Like a booklet of these adventures, stuff like that would be really cool. Yeah, exactly. That's what investments are for. Oh my gosh, we're $9 short. That's incredible. Oh my gosh. Wait, that jumped up a lot suddenly. Did somebody get something fancy? I feel like that. I wonder if there's just like a delay. Oh wow. So many. Okay, so 60 to 71. Like people, a lot of people have bought a physical copy. Wow, 44 people have already bought the PDF or pledged the PDF. That's so. Hey, okay, y'all. If that was that you, Isaac, who tipped it over? Uh, Thank you, Quinn. That means a lot to hear. I'm overwhelmed, guys. Serves me right for not logging into Kickstarter earlier. We did it. Okay, we are already a third funded in. What time is it? Almost 10. Oh, just shy of 2 hours. Uh, oh, right. Yeah, I'm with you, Zarek. So, okay, guys. All right, y'all. We've gotten a third of our funding, a little over a third of our funding now in under 2 hours. Um, this is a very good sign. There's already people who have picked up the super pledge tiers, which is, what do you do for a living? How would you balance designing such a high quality game like this? Well, fortunately, most of the work to build the game is done. So that's the easy part. My day job is a remote software developer. I have a fairly boring but well-paying job. I get to work with one of my dearest, oldest friends, so I really can't complain. Mrs. the Sheriff is also a remote employee, and so I get to hang out with her all day. I'm very hashtag blessed in that way. So my day job is very decent. Doesn't make my heart sing, but that's okay. I'm a hardworking person, and it allowed me to live the lifestyle that I live here. Basically, cutting out video games has really given me a lot more time to work on design. I love video games, but I've had to really cut them back. I've rewarded myself playing a little bit of Path of Exile 2's new patch just to reward myself a bit. But basically, I've already spent years working on this game, and so taking it across the finish line is not going to be a problem at all. I'm a very diligent person. Like I don't doom scroll. I like when I have free time, I am very creative and productive during that time. I don't really have a problem with that. It's a good question though. Would I like to make game design a living? Probably. I don't know how realistic that is. I live in one of the most expensive parts of my country, and so cost of living is high, and I've come to expect a certain type of living at my current economic tier that would be tough. Like I don't want to sell my house and move into an apartment to make like being a game designer work. You know what I mean? So, I don't know. We'll see. We'll see how the campaign goes. Yeah, so I've been tooling around with this game for like a decade now. Taking years breaks here and there, but like I've been playing tabletop role playing games for 25 years and like iterating on homebrew and concepts for a long time. And it's why like with the YouTube channel, it's not hard for me to come up with a video idea, right? I just have a lot of rants. Yeah, so yeah, I've been working on it for a long time. And Scrat's review did a good job talking about this. He's like, if you're looking at what Peter's doing and any success he has as like, whoa, how is he, like, I'm feeling like I'm falling behind. Like he points out, like, I've been working on this for a long time. Before anybody even heard of me on YouTube, I had done so much prep for the YouTube channel for the game. Already run like multiple campaigns of the game over long periods of time, iterated tons and tons of time. So I just taken a long time to get to the point to show it off to the world. Do you have an idea what you'd like to... Oh, question, off topic. Favorite directors who aren't in TFE's DNA? Denis Villeneuve is definitely one of my favorites as far as like modern science fiction writers or directors. It's kind of still in the TFE DNA, but Robert Eggers is one of my favorite living directors as well, who does horror. He's just really, really good stuff. I'm a big film guy. I worked at Blockbuster Video in college, and so Denis Villeneuve and Robert Eggers are really good. After seeing Sinners, Ryan Coogler is somebody I'm going to pay even more attention to now. I thought he was already a very effective director, and now that I've seen him branch out into horror, I want to see more of what he makes. But historically, other big directors that I love, I think one of the best films of all time is actually Jaws. And so like Spielberg's early work is really interesting. He had more edge to him when he was younger. So like even the movie Duel by Spielberg, if you haven't watched it, check out Duel by Spielberg. It's a fascinating movie and totally not his like quaint and wholesome aesthetic that he often uses later. I mean, he used to do things like Jaws, Schindler's List, duel. So anyway, early Spielberg is fascinating. Do you have an idea what you like to see with a final stretch goal since you're a software dev? So I've already in talks with people about the character builder and already have proofs of concept that we've talked through. I don't want something super, super fancy, but basically it'll allow you to build your character, having access to the rules and export to PDF in some way. And maybe allow you to, it'd just be a web page based, run your character from the web page is probably what we were thinking. There's all sorts of like issues. It really depends. We'll see what the world looks like when we get to that tier. You know what I mean? But yeah, we've been talking to people. We have lots of options. Oh, yeah, you're good, Martin. I've been streaming for almost 2 hours now, or over 2 hours, like 2.5 hours. Yeah, I've been tinkering with TFE for like, a decade now. It's drastically changed forms over that time period. Like, it's unrecognizable from its original draft. It was originally like a hack of Cyberpunk 2020, like the rules from the late 90s, because I thought those rules were super cool when I was young. Yeah, Zach remembers sitting at previous jobs together years and years ago, talking about game design back in the day. Oh, an import function from Character Builder to Foundry would be awesome. Oh yeah, so Isaac, about VTTs, I put Foundry on there as that's like the one that a lot of people would be comfortable use. Like that's a big one for customizability. But honestly, there's things like Alchemy and Owlbear and Roll20. So I'm leaving that open to explore a little bit when we get to that point, depending on what kind of funding we're looking at. Yeah, import functionality. Yeah, there's a lot we can explore. That digital, it's why the jumps are so high in cost here for these tiers. It's because, honestly, that's a lot. There's a lot that goes into building out those things. All right, we are just about at 10 a.m. local time. We passed a third funded. Already 135 people have backed the project. The super tiers are already almost gone. That's amazing. There's people getting super tiers. What an amazing morning, y'all. What an amazing morning. Yeah, Roll20 is just a character sheet. That's true. That could be very easy. All right. I'm going to close down the stream then, folks. I am appearing on 2 other streams later today. DM Wally in about 5 hours, I think. And then DM Tales with Wes later that evening. So keep an eye out on those channels for me. I'm going to basically just go hang out with some other YouTuber friends and they're going to interview me and we'll talk about the project and the game and how things are going. I'm going to go try to calm down now. I know I've got this big old thing of coffee here. It's almost like coffee isn't the problem. It's relaxing that's the problem. Good stuff. All right, everybody. Thank you so much for hanging out with me on stream today and going live. There's going to be videos out there covering TFE topics. Definitely check them out. If you go visit other people's channels, no matter how big or small they are, please like and subscribe to them. There's people that are doing actual plays for TFE. Just giving them views and support really helps them out a lot, as well as helps get the word out for my game. So definitely check out some of the other content creators and give them your love. All right, y'all. Have a good one. I'll be in the Discord, not in video, but I'm around. And this is a great start, everybody. I will catch y'all later.